Last night, sometime around 10 p.m., the Sioux City Police Department was made aware of a pursuit that had initiated in North Sioux City, South Dakota, in which officers were conducting an investigation that involved members of the Sioux City Police Department along with law enforcement agencies from the state of South Dakota. During that investigation, a pursuit of a vehicle, a pickup truck, ensued that led officers on a chase in Union County, South Dakota, which eventually led back into the city of Sioux City through Riverside onto Riverside Boulevard, and then proceeded into the area of Sioux City on the west side, which vehicle was eventually stopped in the 1700 block of West Street near the intersection of 18th and West 18th and West Street. 3 parties were apprehended. The driver of the vehicle was a Brandon Miller, age 27. He was charged with 3 counts of forgery, 2 counts of assault on a police officer, 1 count of felony eluding, speeding, operating without a registration, reckless driving, leaving the scene of a personal injury accident, and a stop sign violation. The passengers were Sean Michael Wakefield, age 21, and Allison Agnes Doherty, age 21. Mr. Wakefield was charged with 1 count of forgery, and Miss Doherty was charged with 2 counts of forgery. The forgeries would be felonies.
At some point, in the press release at least, it mentions that the suspects were seen throwing counterfeit money out of their truck.
Yes.
As the chase ensued. Do you have any idea, was it like rolls of coins? Was it money, like dollar bills?
It's my understanding that it was paper currency, and that's what the officers were investigating, was suspected counterfeiting of U.S. currency. And so during the pursuit, suspects were discarding evidence out the windows in an attempt to conceal evidence and destroy the evidence.
Do you have any idea if they used the money at any particular places?
I don't have any of that information now. As I said, I know when we first started, this is an ongoing investigation, so I'm sure detectives will be looking into whether or not that money had been used and where it had been used, if at all.
Are they suspected of passing, just passing counterfeit cash, or are they suspected of the actual production of counterfeit cash?
They are being investigated for both.
Oh, okay.
So I know this was a high-speed chase. I mean, I guess tell me what your thoughts are on that. I mean, a lot of people witnessed it, on West and West 18th, and were kind of shocked and surprised by it. So I guess just tell me what that was like for officers.
Well, anytime our officers are involved in a chase of suspects, there's a lot of factors that are taken into consideration, and any of our pursuits are reviewed after the fact. During the pursuits, the radio traffic is obviously monitored by supervisors, and they can be terminated at any time if the supervisors feel that they're too dangerous. The officers can also stop a pursuit at any time themselves if they feel that it's dangerous. So we take pursuits very seriously. We don't take them lightly. We don't have a lot of them in Sioux City, thankfully. And our officers, we have training to handle pursuits and handle pursuit driving. We also have some techniques that we use to disable vehicles through tire deflation devices. Our officers are all trained also in the pit maneuver, which is a precision intervention technique where the officers basically make contact with the suspect vehicle when it's as safe to do so as possible in an attempt to get the vehicle to spin out and stop the pursuit before anything bad happens.
So I know there was a person, was it a sheriff officer that was injured or taken to the hospital?
Yeah, during the pursuit, the suspects had stopped their vehicle and rapidly backed up, it's my understanding. And as they were doing that, you know, at a rate of speed that was pretty significant, hit head on. I guess it would be, the momentum would have been head on, but they were actually in reverse, and struck the front of one of the sheriff's deputies. I believe it was from Union County, and emergency personnel were called to the scene for injuries. I don't know what the injuries are. I would refer to the Union County Sheriff's Department to, you know, to speak on their personnel issues, but I know he was at least looked at the scene. I don't know if he was transported or not. I guess I don't have that information.
Yeah, that was a squad car. It wasn't just the deputy outside of the vehicle, was it?
Yes, no, the vehicle was struck. It was actually, I think it was a patrol truck,
Okay.
patrol vehicle.
A couple other questions I had was, first of all, do we have an address where this whole thing started in North Sioux?
I would refer you to either North Sioux, Union County, or possibly South Dakota DCI. I think perhaps all three of them were involved. And since that's their case, I don't have all the details, and I don't want to speak on their case or, you know, give any information that may be incorrect. So I just refer you to them to go ahead